The young guys, I tell them all the time. I haven't told them, but I wonder, why when you start making big money, the next thing I do, I see you at ringside with $250,000, $300,000.
Well, they ain't never had it, you know, right? And it's like, that's what they've been looking at when they didn't have it.
Here's a case of having men around you. Where's somebody to say, wait a minute, man, you can take this money, put yourself in a position where you can own the jewelry store.
Hey, Floyd, do you think if you only have one arm, you would still manifest this life and success? You'd find a way to do it?
Man, I'll be cold-blooded with one arm. I'll be cold-blooded with two arms. And please get the necklaces for the ladies and gentlemen.
You gotta zoom in, man.
You know?
I've only seen CZs like that before.
Oh, no, these ain't no armor, man.
I should have worn sunglasses.
You already know, ain't no CZs.
TMZ, Floyd says roughly $100 million worth of bling has handed over to a Miami jeweler for only $13 million in return. And he said a huge chunk of the collection is still sitting with the dealer. Floyd also says he unknowingly signed paperwork transferring ownership of his Gulfstream jet with a buyer section left blank, and says he still doesn't know where the aircraft money went.
The world has watched countless videos of Floyd Mayweather Jr. revealing luxury watch collections worth millions, carrying designer bags packed with cash, and purchasing exotic supercars without financing. From the outside, it projects the image of complete financial control and limitless wealth. Yet behind the glamorous displays lies a much more complicated reality. The bigger story is not simply how much money was made, but how difficult it can be to sustain an empire built on constant spending and public perception. What appears to be endless prosperity may actually require enormous resources just to keep operating at the same level.
Ocho, with the lavish lifestyle that Floyd has built over the years, the jet, the entourage, nonstop spending, has he created a lifestyle that when he was making $200, $400 million a year, he was able to enjoy? Has he created something that he can no longer keep up with?
Yeah, I think so, because if you think about Floyd obviously having to maintain the image of being Money Mayweather Joe, being at one point, being at Top's highest paid Forbes, top highest paid athlete at one point. The lifestyle that he did live, you understood once you stopped fighting, once you retired, regardless of what investments you made, there are no investments in this world, I don't care who you are, Uncle Joe, that you can make that can still accumulate that type of revenue that the sport that you play can. It's not that many. You gotta hit, you gotta get in good and hit it when it's hot, and it happens very seldom. It happens very seldom. So I hate this. I hate this for my young bull, man. I hate this for my young bull, Floyd. Hopefully this situation gets rectified, especially when it comes to having people around you, having other people in control of your finances. That's a no-no, Joe, that's a no-no.
Among elite athletes, status often becomes a form of currency. Expensive jewelry, luxury vehicles, and high-profile purchases are frequently used to showcase success. However, financial experts argue that assets designed to generate long-term income often provide greater stability than luxury items that lose value over time. In a sport as unpredictable as boxing, where a single injury can dramatically alter a career, relying too heavily on image-driven spending can create significant financial vulnerability.
The young guys, I tell them all the time. I haven't told them, but I wonder, why when you start making big money, the next thing I do, I see you at ringside with $250,000, $300,000.
Well, they ain't never had it, right? And it's like, that's what they've been looking at when they didn't have it.
Here's a case of having men around you. Where's somebody to say, wait a minute, man, you can take this money, put yourself in a position where you can own the jewelry store over a period of time, and then you can wear everything free, like Johnny Dang, right? He owns a jewelry store, so he can bling up anytime he wants to, any which way he wants to, because he owns it. You got something around your neck that's gonna depreciate, right, in time. So you take that 300 and you can go get 4 or 5 houses, put 50,000 on houses in certain neighborhoods, and now you got income coming, equity building, and everything like that. It's none of my business, but it does affect me in a way when I see value around your neck. When I see generational wealth being put around your neck and hung up in the closet somewhere when you're not doing it. I see generational wealth.
For many superstars, personal identity becomes closely tied to financial success. When an athlete is known for being one of the wealthiest figures in the sport, stepping away from that image can be difficult. As a result, maintaining the appearance of success becomes almost as important as achieving it. This can create a cycle where constant displays of wealth are necessary to reinforce a reputation that fans and media have come to expect.
When you go buy, a Bentley or something like that, you see?
If you can afford it.
If you can afford it,
But that's the tricky part. Can you afford it?
Can you afford it?
You know?
Not the flaw. So, but it's a short sport. It's a short game. It can end at any time.
Straight up.
Anytime. I don't care how good you are, anything, one wrong move.
Just be an injury.
Wrong punch in the wrong place, and it's a wrap. You see, and you never recover from that. So, no, I appreciate when you got out, and I don't ever have to look back. You know, I used to tell you, I don't never want to be an old coach on a stump, sitting somewhere talking about, man, I should have done this because I allowed somebody to keep going and getting brain damage. I don't care who it is. If I got guys in here now and they don't look like they got it, I'm gonna tell them. I don't care if you got $1 million payday on the table. I'm gonna tell you, because I'm not gonna sell out to money.
Yeah.
You know, I care about you. You're in a sport that you can get hurt, killed, it affect not only you, but your family and everything else. You know, so take the sport serious because it's a serious sport. It's a deadly sport. And then when you have ability and you're going through the routines and everything is shining your way, still something can show up out of nowhere. There's always somebody that's your kryptonite. Always somebody that's your kryptonite. And usually you meet them at the time that your skills are eroding.
The challenge becomes even greater when taxes, management fees, and business expenses are taken into account. Commentators such as Joe Rogan and Chael Sonnen have frequently noted that headline earnings rarely represent the amount athletes actually keep. Significant portions of those earnings are often allocated to promoters, advisors, operational costs, and tax obligations. Without careful planning, even enormous paydays can shrink much faster than expected, especially when future earnings are assumed rather than guaranteed.
Which I don't know if Mike is, but most fighters aren't. Most fighters concentrate on fighting. Mm-hmm. To be business-minded, that's a giant distraction. You got to pay attention to all this other shit. On top of that, it's generally not how they think.
Right.
You know? I mean, look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap. Just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he got to be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. Mm-hmm. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that.
Beyond the public image, reports have suggested the existence of various financial obligations connected to luxury purchases, premium rentals, and the ongoing costs of maintaining an extravagant lifestyle. While individual claims remain subject to debate, critics argue that recurring high-value expenses can quietly accumulate over time. The result is a striking contrast between the perception of unlimited wealth and the realities of managing substantial financial commitments.
When he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond-crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself, like, draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
Mm-hmm. They trying to keep up.
Yeah, which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco, and he was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know? He
No
Chad
one know.
Ocho
Exactly.
Cinco. It's
Big
like when they look
jewelry,
at him, like
flying economy. He was sleeping at the stadium, like so he didn't have to pay for an apartment. So smart, so clever, you know. But that's a guy like preparing. Like,
ain't nobody gonna question him. You know,
exactly.
they know. Oh man, this NFL star, he got money.
Yeah,
you know. So we're not going to question if his dime is real or not.
Well, you really can't tell.
Right.
I can't. I mean, you can't tell until you get a magnifying glass on them.
Or that's why they say we got these diamond testers.
Yeah.
They want to test your diamonds now. Like,
questions have also emerged regarding liquidity and cash flow management. Reports and allegations have indicated that valuable assets, including real estate and private aircraft, may have been used as collateral for financing arrangements. When assets traditionally viewed as symbols of success begin serving it naturally raises questions about expanding or simply being leveraged to support existing operations.
Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say he can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing gym, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He's got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company. Who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view? It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner. You've never heard Cox. You've never heard DirecTV. You have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check? And I'm only sharing with you, like, the numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke.
Financial concerns have reportedly been accompanied by legal and business complications. During 2026, discussions surrounding major lawsuits, tax-related issues, and properties facing financial challenges generated significant attention. While the full details continue to be debated, these developments suggest that the situation may involve broader financial pressures rather than isolated incidents.
So he's gotten money up front that he needed desperately. Again, I know people don't want to hear this, but he's bleeding money. Why do you think he sued Showtime, Al Heyman, Steven Espinoza? Why do you think these are happening, people? He's selling property. He just sold his Beverly Hills mansion. You have a jeweler suing him for $1.4 million. Financially, he is bleeding money. And this is something that's been happening for years, by the way. I actually made a video years back about Floyd possibly going broke, and people that, oh, he's not going broke, Jay. What do you call this? What's going on with him and his behaviors? He felt like, he's made a lot of money, but he also felt like he was cheated out of money. You know why? See, you never notice money is missing until you start losing money, And when your money starts to run low, you realize I should have more than what I have. That's when you start seeing the lawsuits. He doesn't want to fight. This is just
Public business
when we
disputes
rush,
have
we
added
tend to
further
stumble.
complexity.
So I like to take my time.
One widely discussed example involved Logan Paul and an
Same old
unresolved payment controversy
Why Andre
connected
Berto?
to their exhibition value. Reports
My jeweler in
indicated
Las
that
Vegas made this
complications
chain.
within the promotional structure
Leo and
responsible
what-
for distributing
I got a
funds
guy
created uncertainty
in
regarding
LA.
accountability. What initially appeared to be a straightforward business arrangement eventually evolved into a highly public dispute.
For payday. One of the other claims is about Floyd selling his jet and not receiving any money. There's mention in the complaint that the block for the purchaser was left blank. What the media misunderstood was that the plane wasn't sold for $1 like the complaint lists here. Here's the actual signed contract, which does list the consideration of $1 and OVC, and you can see Floyd's signature down below. I think what was misunderstood is that the plane didn't actually sell for $1. OVC means other valuable considerations, which means the sale was for more than $1. This happens when private parties don't want the amount known to the public. Here's the text message between Jonah and Floyd. Jonah sent the payoff letter from the lender of his private jet, as well as a letter from Navy Federal Credit Union regarding a $2.787 million payoff. What happened was Floyd took out a large loan against the value of the jet. So when the jet was sold, a large chunk of the money went to pay off the loan and many of his other debts. Here's the payoff demand statement for the jet. Highlighted is borrower named Floyd Mayweather. The total loan payoff is around $2.79 million, and the highlight in the bottom left is the property collateral as the Gulfstream Learjet. This is the bank wire transfer receipt from the credit union. Both of these documents were sent to Floyd, so he's clearly lying about the jet only selling for $1 and him being out of the know on the jet selling. The picture on the left is Floyd signing the contract, and the picture on the right is Floyd holding the aircraft purchase and sale agreement right after signing it. Does he look disappointed in the terms of the sale? This is the text Jonah sent to Floyd in September 2025, indicating that the house and airplane contracts were done, and Floyd responded, "Let's go." To make it even more clear that Floyd knew about the plane purchase and the terms of the purchase and sale, here's a text between Floyd and Jonah where Floyd writes, "Can you call me about the plane, please? I need for you to update me, please." And Jonah responded. One of the other claims is about Floyd selling his jet and not receiving any money. There's mention in the complaint that the block for the purchaser was left blank. What the media misunderstood was that the plane wasn't sold for $1 like the complaint lists here. Here's the actual signed contract, which does list the consideration of $1 and OVC, and you can see Floyd's signature down below. I think what was misunderstood is that the plane didn't actually sell for $1. OVC means other valuable considerations, which means the sale was for more than $1. This happens when private parties don't want the amount known to the public. Here's the text message between Jonah and Floyd. Jonah sent the payoff letter from the lender of his private jet, as well as a letter from Navy Federal Credit Union regarding a $2.787 million payoff. What happened was Floyd took out a large loan against the value of the jet. So when the jet was sold, a large chunk of the money went to pay off the loan and many of his other debts. Here's the payoff demand statement for the jet. Highlighted is borrower named Floyd Mayweather. The total loan payoff is around $2.79 million, and the highlight in the bottom left is the property collateral as the Gulfstream Learjet. This is the bank wire transfer receipt from the credit union. Both of these documents were sent to Floyd, so he's clearly lying about the jet only selling for $1 and him being out of the know on the jet selling. The picture on the left is Floyd signing the contract, and the picture on the right is Floyd holding the aircraft purchase and sale agreement right after signing it. Does he look disappointed in the terms of the sale? This is the text Jonah sent to Floyd in September 2025, indicating that the house and airplane contracts were done, and Floyd responded, "Let's go." To make it even more clear that Floyd knew about the plane purchase and the terms of the purchase and sale, here's a text between Floyd and Jonah where Floyd writes, "Can you call me about the plane, please? I need for you to update me, please." And Jonah responded, "Plane is ready to close."
I got the 488 Ferrari. I got the Maybach or the Maybach, whatever you want to call it.
Has highlighted the emotional and psychological challenges many fighters experience after retirement. Boxing often becomes more than a career. It becomes a core part of an athlete's identity. The excitement of competition, public recognition,
hopefully under the Mayweather banner,
can be difficult to replace. Even years after leaving the sport, many fighters continue to feel the pull of the spotlight, creating a powerful motivation to return.